Bam, bam. There we go. We're back. Dwarfs continue. Get back to your work, you dwarfs. Except now I'm not hungry. Also, chat, I just want to share a real quick important life hack for you. Plain rice. Okay? Plain rice. A little bit of egg whipped in at the end of the cook. Doesn't matter if it's hot or cold. Tiny little bit of sesame oil. Doesn't need anything else. Sesame seed oil is like one of the greatest human inventions. Like, seriously. Whoever, like, came up with the concept of making sesame seed oil, hats off to you, because you are a wonderful person. Possibly my favorite, like, completely unrelated to anything else ingredient for anything. It's just so good. God. Few things are as good as sesame oil. All right, well, I think I can queue up another drawbridge, I think. Let's just make them out of iron, I think, is what we're going to do with the bridges. Raises. Dunk. Fortunately, iron's nice and close by. Oh yeah, no, fish sauce is also, like, shockingly good. Same with the oyster sauce. But yeah, just plain rice, a little bit of egg, sesame oil, salt. Fantastic lunch. Fantastic lunch. Also, I just have to say, you know, a real quick thank you. You know, I get to do this as my full-time job because people tune in and watch. I just want to say thank you to everybody who tunes in and hangs out and watches and views the stream or just shows up, because I wouldn't be able to do this gig if it wasn't for you guys watching. So thank you to those of you who tune in and watch, and thank you to those of you who hang out. Because this job's pretty cool. 69 viewers, nice. But yeah, no, this job's pretty cool, and not many people get the, you know, opportunity to say that, hey, you know, I play video games on the internet for a living. So thank you for letting me do that, chat room. As we wait for them to construct a lot of pieces of flooring. Shockingly, not many of them have been suspended, though. Only one. Interesting. I'm kind of tempted to, like, carve around this just to get more stone. I could go, like, 1 or 2 layers up. Get more stone from up here. I don't even know what I'm going to use this room for. We'll figure it out. Doop, doop. So this is going to be a bit of a, I don't know, a room that I'm going to dig out just to acquire more diorite, because I'm going to run out of diorite, which is what I've been using for all of this. Most of this flooring is made out of constructed diorite, like all of this. This is the stuff that I've been filling in, so we're trying to replace the last of it. We're past halfway, far past halfway, so that part's good. But yeah, I think plan for this is we'll do another 2.5, 3 hours of this fort. Hopefully we can get to the point where we're comfortably ready to assault hell. And even if we don't get to that point, I mean, worse things have happened. Yeah, you and all of chat, don't worry, Aqua. And go enjoy your dinner. But we're going to finish up as much of this trap as possible, but it looks like this won't be the finale of this fortress, because I'm kind of looking at this right now and going like, okay, even if I do manage to, like, combat and beat hell today, I don't think I'm gonna have time to like finish up building underneath hell or anything crazy. So. Diorite will contrast nicely with Demon Blood. Hopefully. I mean, they'll just be immediately immolated by having their heads impacted all the way down through their bodies with drawbridges. So, although realistically, we're not going to need all of these drawbridges. I am going to need a drawbridge right here. And a drawbridge. I guess we can just use iron like I said I was going to and then didn't. Right there. And a drawbridge. No, actually not there. Drawbridge right here. Drawbridge right there. Where's my iron? I lost it again. I lost my iron. There it is. But we're getting close to all the drawbridges we're going to need for this. We've got a War Dragon in training. Hell yeah. But yeah, my advice for War Dragon is leave it chained up. Leave it on a chain. Even once it's trained. Because if you let it wander around, if you have any other animals in the fortress, the dragon is still considered hostile to the other animals. If it's chained up, it's not. So if it's chained up, it won't randomly just like attack somebody's pet cat or something. Or like a horse. Because there's like weird bugs in their AI. But if they if you have it chained up, then the other animals won't aggro it. And you can have like a fire turret or a cool mascot or something. You can send them off alongside of raids, but I wouldn't advise that because every time I've done it, they've died. So to the point where like I will hard save and send them out and alt F4. Or that's what I had to do the one time I tried to make a consistent War Dragon. I got something stuck in my tooth. Motherfucker. But, you know. To war? Well, to war with the underworld. Yeah. Hi, Gwillem. Fancy seeing you here. To what do I owe this pleasure? Your goal originally was to leave it on the surface in the middle of the map, possibly chain down to the guard to guard against invading forces. If you do that, just make sure that you dig some sort of defenses around it, because goblins have annoyingly good aim with their arrows. So like make sure there's like traps and other things. Like don't just leave it by itself, otherwise it'll just die. They will kill it. It's like a Forgotten Beast. It'll take some damage. It'll do damage and it'll take some of them down with it, but you kind of want it to live. Dragons are too rare to just throw them away. So just be careful with it. Treat it like a dainty little baby that needs to be tended to. 40 weekend? Oh hell yeah! You got some morning twitch with your coffee. Hell yeah, good stuff. If it's above, it might not be able to fire down. What I would do is dig like a moat around it and give it like its own little room, maybe like with an entrance so the dwarves could visit it if they wanted, and then build like fortifications around it and then like a roof on top of it, and like don't give it that much walking space. So you want it to like just kind of have its own little room with fortifications. That, or if it's sealed in that room, like if you're locking the doors, what you could do is you could unchain it at that point and just make sure no other animals interfere with it. Actually, not sure what happened to this dwarf. You want to fight? I mean, I could put you in the military. How about you? You're just embarrassed about wearing old clothing? It's not too bad. Yeah, I mean, usually what I do is make sure they're on the same level of the thing they want to be shooting at, and just give them like a moat with spikes at the bottom or something. Hope it fares better than your houseplants. My houseplants do very well. I have some very happy houseplants. I've got a very large, what's it called? Spider plant. It's growing. And I also have an extremely tall, or compared to when I got it, it's like tripled in size. Draconis, I think is what it's called. I like the Dr. Seuss trees. It started forking. It's splitting. Yeah, absolutely. Give it like a draw. Give it blast doors, as I call them. Give it a drawbridge that it can shoot over sometimes, that doesn't always have to shoot over. So you can like save it if it starts to get injured. And then also put it on a pen pasture and set it, where is it? Set it as an animal training zone, because then they will tend to its injuries if it gets injured. If it's a pen pasture / animal training zone and it's assigned to that pen pasture. But yeah, dragons are fun. Dragons are a lot of fun. I was kind of hoping we'd get something like that in this fort, but no such luck from the looks of things. A wee bit unfortunate, but it's what it is. Speaking of luck, Belle, how's the Whammer channel doing? The Warhammer channel doing? But yeah, dragons are fun, and being able to mess around with them in weird ways and use them as fun traps is consistently entertaining. Now, if you can, like, also have a giant tamed cave spider or a trapped forgotten beast so that they can shoot fire and webs back and forth, that's kind of like your dream team there. That's what you really want. All right, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to do this top to or bottom to top. So we're going to do bottom layer, get rid of all of the stone, middle layer, change the color, top layer, then we'll put in all the wall. Well, actually, before we put in the walls, we should probably dump everything. So maybe we should take a break from all of this all of this construction and just start hauling these stones out. And make goblins run in front of it. Yeah, and then you also have like a ton of spiders. So now you just like have a little window into the caverns and just let the caves, not the giant cave spiders, just the normal cave spiders come in. And they're very efficient at just like spreading webs everywhere. So you don't really need the giant cave spiders anymore. All right, not bad. That chunk of stuff done. Also, I'm literally just going to put all this stuff over here in the corner. So those are upstairs. I need this screen. Garbage dump. Time for dinner. You have a good dinner, man. Still constructing a bunch of different buildings. All these various drawbridges. We've also got dwarves digging. Filling in those few tiles that I missed. Uh-oh. Oh, really? Damn stone? Huh. I realized I was that. Oh. I was about to say, I didn't realize I was that close to an aquifer. I'm not. Should have known better. All right, Dwarfy, let's go one layer down. Cause, oops. Let's do this instead. That'll be plenty. Plenty, plenty, plenty. That'll be fine. Whoopsies. I do that way more often than I should. Just, like, forget that something's there and dig into it. This is why the oops, I accidentally water everywhere thing is canceled by damp stone. It's like, I know the damp stone notices are annoying, but my god, they're a hell of a lot better than accidentally drowning yourself, which is the alternative. God, this is such a busy fort. It's ridiculous. This is a ridiculously busy fort. I'm super flattered. Like, somebody posted one of my clips on the Dwarf Fortress subreddit, and I think this might actually be one of the first times that that's happened. Because, like, I've been, you know, I've been streaming Dwarf Fortress for a long time now, but you kind of know you've made it within a game's community when somebody else posts your thing on the subreddit for it. And I put up a short this morning of me explaining a ghost, talking about how a ghost, what's the word I'm looking for here, reports the crime of his own murder to the captain of the guard by possessing another dwarf. And after having that happen, I made a little clip of it, made it into a short, put it up on YouTube. And somebody who I don't know shared it, which is neat. I don't think I've ever actually had somebody do that. Normally it's either me posting things on Reddit or me asking friends to post things on Reddit for me. Because, you know, that's how you make it in this industry, is by forcibly shoving your work in front of everybody's face until they notice. It's really funny, actually. There's a YouTuber I've watched on and off for years, and I've listened to his podcast for years, Jesse Cox. He openly talks about how the only reason he got his start making content is because whenever he would make a World of Warcraft video, he would shove it on every single one of the Warcraft forums and every single fan forum. He's like, he at one point said that he had like 30 different accounts for posting and responding to shit to bump his own stuff up. Like, yeah, that's how most people get their start. Which is funny because, like, a lot of places ban that shit now, to the point where it's like, people ask me how to get into this industry, and, like, I have advice and ideas, but to a degree, it's like, I don't fucking know. Shit's all Greek to me. It's all changed so much. Also just got that song stuck in my head from that goddamn soundtrack now. This is brilliant. Spring's arrived, so we wait for the game to save. No backseating. Nope. No backseating. Backseating is illegal. I've had that tag for years, but why do you ask? You think I should sit in the back though? I mean, it's not up for discussion. Literally, what's funny is now technically you're backseating. Because you're telling me what to do. No funny. No funny. Anyway, what's up? How you doing, Rem? You have cringe? Yeah, I mean, sure. I'm more of a trunk person. Usually if I'm in a car, it's because somebody beat me up and threw me in the trunk. I mean, Tolis just sits in the sidecar and gives everybody the side eye judgmentally. Which sounds about right. To me, anyway. Otherwise, no one will ever see your stuff. I mean, but that's what's wild about this industry now, right? Is because it's so algorithmically, like, determined. It's like, you don't even need to do that anymore. You just need to go onto TikTok and have, like, 2 or 3 videos that are perfectly poised to just, like, kick the algorithm in the balls and just do it that way, right? Like, it used to be, like, the way you would get your name out there is you would self-promote until you didn't need to anymore. And now it's just, you stare at the algorithm and try and figure out what's popular and try and catch that, which I think actually stifles a lot of creativity. Honestly. Like, I genuinely think it kind of ruins things, but... You can't make pretty forts? I mean, this fort isn't pretty, right? It's a big-ass, ugly, burnt valley with a big bridge. It's not pretty. There's nothing pretty about this fort. With demons and hellfire in the basement. That's all I'm doing. Demons and hellfire in the basement. You have to put things out. You see, well, the thing is, back in the day of Sneezing Panda, right? Something going viral was every single grandmother in the world putting it into their email and emailing it to every single member of their family. Right? Like that's what a game, or not a game, but a video going viral was a decade ago. Now a video going viral is the platform just arbitrarily decides to show it to everybody. Like there is user input, stuff gets posted on Facebook and Reddit, but that's like when I have a video that gets hit by the algorithm, which happens every now and again, I'll just get like 5,000 views out of nowhere for no reason, and none of them feel real, and I get very little interactions. Oh, fucking you toppled a slab? That's gonna send ghosts after us, lad. That's a big dumb. You don't do that. That's kind of what I mean, like... Yeah, exactly. Like, I've had... Maybe 1 in 30 videos I put up gets hit by the algorithm a little bit. And it'll just, for no reason, get an extra 5,000 views. And it'll get some likes, barely any comments, and I get a couple subscribers, usually. But none of that feels real, right? And, like, I've been on the front page at Twitch. I've had, like, the 10, 15,000 concurrent viewers. There we go. The 2 crimes against you. I've had that before, but, like, how many of them stuck around? The last time I was on the front page of Twitch... Okay, they're all reporting crimes. Perfect. The last time I was on the front page of Twitch, I had about 10,000 concurrent for a little bit there. Last time I was on True front page, I was up there. But, like, not to call those people out or anything, but that many of them stuck around. Yeah. I guess I'm just not likable, you know? I gotta say, this thing, best 20 bucks I've spent in a very long time. It's literally just like a ceiling single-serve coffee cup. Use my coffee hot. Wonderful little device. All right, let's hook you up to that bridge. Let's hook you up to that bridge. Let's hook you up to not that bridge. Nope. Okay, okay. All of them. And then that one once this is done. You never seem to come up with shapes. You're just cursed with box forts. Let me give you a real quick tutorial. Watch very closely, Rem. See this? That's a square. See this? That's a more interesting square. See this? Still kind of a square. But you see this? That's a circle. Try making circles. Quit making squares. Very, very, very easy to do. Literally just square with little square inside big square. Suddenly you have a much more interesting fort than just squares. Super easy. You know, honestly, I'm a little bit scared. Poopy McFart ass. I'm a little bit, like, maybe not, okay, scared's the wrong word. Intimidated by that concept, because I do not believe it's going to happen. Because, like, you know, Bellinair's in the chat right now. Bellinair has known me on this site for a long time. And, like, we've been through so many launch periods for so many games over the years. And it's never worked for me. Like, I guess, like, maybe to a degree, like, this is probably the most notoriety I've had within a community going towards a launch, I would say. But at the same time, it's like, did I not set that as a dump zone? Yeah, I did. Why are you not using a gun? Okay, fine. Delete it then. But, like, at the same time, like, I genuinely believe, like, all of the traffic will be taken by bigger names, because that's always how it goes. And I'll just be exactly the same post-launch. Maybe with, like, an extra couple hundred subs or something on YouTube. Like, genuinely, that's what my brain says is going to happen. So, I mean, if I actually do, air quotes, get a ton of views, I will be ecstatic, but I see that as not that likely, but that's just, I guess, because I'm a super pessimist when it comes to this sort of stuff. We're going to set this up with iron bars right there. Add that to the sealed doors. An elven caravan has arrived. I should probably actually trade with them this time. Certainly didn't trade with them last time. But I appreciate the kind words. All right, I'm going to try and sell them clothing. We'll just have to scan them for stuff I can't sell them. And yes, trader is needed at depot. But yeah, I don't know. It's really, 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 really difficult to quantify how well known you are within a group of people when you're that person. It's extremely difficult. Like I have an idea of how well known the stuff I do is, but not really. Like it's hard to explain. it's very difficult to see that perspective from my point of view. So, yeah, I don't know. It's very difficult. So it's a weird position to be in. Time will tell. Yep, that is true. Well, I mean, I would honestly say that the most important and / I guess legendary thing that I've done, two things that I've done for the Dwarf Fortress community. The first one is, you know, all of those interviews that I do with Zach and Tarn. I think those are super cool and super important, and I'm very happy that people watch them, and I'm happy that they, like, let me borrow their time to talk with them. But the actual most important thing that I've done for the Dwarf Fortress community is I gave Zach and Tarn a new microphone, which hopefully has worked for them. Hopefully they've set it up and messed with it and got it working. So no more of that. The microphone that we're using is on a laptop. It's no more of that. So fortunately, you guys won't have to suffer through that kind of audio quality anymore. I don't know if you've seen the Morphu, but I have a series of videos that are all like 2 minutes long, where it's like literally just like Dwarf Fortress quick tips things. Like they're all basic things, but like stuff that can be explained in like under a minute, and I just do a quick demo and then it's done. I'm gonna do like dozens of those. I'm not gonna do like really big long videos because that's not the kind of tutorials I like to make. I know I'm gonna do like a embark guide for new players, a prepare carefully guide for new players, and like your first season in a basic biome. I will do those, but outside of that, I'm not going to do a ton. I will do a ton of those short videos, though. Like 3 to 5 minute long quick tutorials on how to, hook up a drawbridge, how to make soap, how to, But like the big deep dive mechanical tutorials, I'm going to leave those to Sal and Tekid. They can take those. I'm the biggest streamer that knows how it works. Yeah, something I really want to do for launch day? See if I can just pester Krug Smash and be like, hey, do you want to hang out and do a live first impressions with me? That's something I kind of want to try and do, but use my contacts to my advantage. I do know that Krugs is very scared of streaming, though. To quote Krugs, public speaking is not my forte. Although I don't consider streaming public speaking, so. We'll see if I can get him on. But I have confirmed a Zach and Tarn talk a couple weeks after release. You can. Krug Smash has a Twitch account. He just doesn't stream. Unless he deleted it. I think he might have deleted it. Yeah, it looks like he deleted it. Or it no longer exists. Yep, no, looks like he deleted it. But he's a YouTuber, he's not a streamer. I'm a streamer before a YouTuber, and it really shows in the stuff I put up on YouTube. So, rather, he had a Twitch account. Unless he's changed the name of it. Be a shame. Got kind of a glut of really depressed dwarves in the middle of this fort, which is kind of concerning. And they're all like things that make me a little nervous too. Okay, so both of you just want to fight. I'll put you into the pairs of armor and you also into the pairs of armor. Let's get the pairs of armor training. And hope that none of them tantrum. Because they're not super depressed, but they both want to fight, so let's just let them fight. Okay, everything's clear. No wood. Bring any fun animals? Hedgehog, mule. That's it. Nothing. Cherries, bayberries, peaches. Ooh, apples. Sand pears, more apples, more peaches. Millions of peaches. Peaches for me. Millions of peaches. Peaches for free. Turns out I should have been doing this for a while. Trading all this clothing. But yeah, no, Krugs doesn't stream. I don't think he ever will. Although if you give him money on Patreon and you get into his Discord, once every couple of months he'll do an art stream on his Discord. Where he just sits there and talks at other people on voice chat and doodles. Well, this is one of these dwarves that really wants to train, but don't. Although, oddly enough, put this dwarf into the military has already ceased being depressed. That's kind of funny. Huh. You grab yourself a sword. I think you did. It was used by Mapeti previously, who passed away. Rest in peace, Mapeti. This sword has been used to slay a forgotten beast and 6 other critters. Let's give them a good opportunity to train up. Ponce, thanks for the host. What were you up to today? I don't even know if he's here yet, but got a host from Ponce. You guys don't know Ponce. He plays competitive games mostly. Another Vancouver streamer. Entertaining lad. I think he's been playing a lot of Age of Empires. Hi, what were you up to today? If only I could convince him to stream DF. Hey, Ponce, do you want to stream Dwarf Fortress? I'll teach you. Maybe. Ponce comes from the old school League of Legends days. It's a bunch of vandalism charges. All against Lawler, that poor fucking dwarf. No, I don't think Dwarf Fortress is online or competitive enough for him. Speaking of MOBAs that are terrible, Ponce, did you see that football or soccer, I guess, MOBA with like the annoying anime ladies? Feels like a game you'd need to talk to people a lot during. Yeah, you're more of the go silent for 40 minutes and do very complex combos kind of person. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, really? Interesting. How goes the Age of Empires grind of getting good? But thanks a lot for the host, man. While they're trying to stream snipe, that's funny. Oh, nice of Cody. Cody bought a bunch of music on Bandcamp this morning, and I got an email about it, and I was looking at it. I was like, damn. Not familiar with the game I just mentioned? Hold on, let me find it. I saw it, and I was like, I should show this to Ponce. I think he would hate it. Was literally the thought that I had. Hold on, let me find it. Give me a sec. It's like off the new and trending releases now, so I have to scroll down a little bit. It's like free to play, I think. Popular new releases. Ah, this thing. It's a very anime, like 3-on-3 frisbee soccer MOBA thing. Never knew what it was. Well, it's a PvP MOBA. That's what it is. I was always surprised you never got into that. So it's Pong. Yeah, sure. Pong with anime characters. Actually, it's probably got more in common with what's the name of that? I don't want to trade for arrows. Let's just... Sure. Air hockey, but more than 2. Yeah, air hockey. That's the word I was looking for. Actually, I was looking for NBA Jam was the word I was looking for, but, you know. I was always surprised that you never got into that I think it was called Black Survival? No. Wait. No, Eternal Return was the name of that stupid game. Yeah. They took the Black Survival out of the title. Surprised you never got into that. Because it's like a MOBA, but there's no teams. Like, hey, it's a MOBA, but minus the part where MOBAs suck, usually. Yeah, solos or duos or whatever. I expected you to get into that one, but you never did, so. Had a few people take a look at that. What, like you sent your spies into the fray? Oh, tell you to take a look at it. When you said that, it sounded like you sent people to go look at it for you and report back if it was good. I don't know. The reason I'm aware of it is because I know a few people who streamed it for a while because they had permanent, like, Twitch drops for, like, it was like a good year and a half of just 24/7 Twitch drops. And because every single streamer was Korean, if you streamed in English, you'd just, like, skyrocket up to the top of that directory, like, immediately. And I know a guy who used to, he would stream like about around the same size as me, like 50 to 100 people, and just had like 600-700 people for a couple days there. And he's just like, I don't know what the fuck's happening, but I'm gonna keep playing this shitty game. You ask if it was someone named Pi? No, it was somebody else. Not somebody from Vancouver, no. I don't think it's somebody that you know. Buy your crappy scepter. I didn't realize how much crappy clothing we had. Because, like, just telling them, sell this clothing, and just, like, all of this crap is just getting removed. It's like the used clothing sale, Dwarf Edition. Satisfying game. One of the devs was in chat earlier. Or actually, I think he's our community guy who does some... I'm not entirely sure what he does, but one of the people who works for the studio that made that game was in chat earlier. Yeah, Benjamin. Looking forward to Brigador Killers. They put out some footage of like people jumping in and out of the vehicles. You haven't eaten since 8 a.m.? I ate only an hour ago, and I also ate at 8 a.m., so you should go do that. Food is wise. Oh, no. I'm not sure what has wood in it. Oh, actually, I see it. It's this one. I was spinning by too quickly. Whoops. Elves have continued on their journey. Maybe we'll go to war with elves now, although they usually give you a second chance. I have to fuck that up a couple times. I don't have a good enough trader, it seems like. Rip. One of the clothing items I was trying to sell those elves had wood engravings on it. Silly goblins are pranking me even post-death. Womp. Yep. Unless you're whooping, I'm actually not sure. Just embarrassed after wearing old clothing. We've got new clothing now. Oh, whoops. I get you. Yeah, whoops. Although you do get multiple attempts, so... Not that, like, I would have any problem fighting with the elves right now. I mean, if you've seen this fortress, we would absolutely demolish them if we had to, but hopefully not, because kind of a waste of free peaches, which is all that I really buy from them is peaches. Speaking of YouTube algorithm, you guys want to see the YouTube algorithm doing things? This is what happens when a video gets picked up by the YouTube algorithm. It gets your normal view ratio, and then it goes boing. So this is kind of the shorts feed algorithm. The short. I'll take it. We wait. Okay, over there, dwarf. Oh, it's still the same one. Keep seeing that dwarf walking in, going, "Oh god, there's a upset dwarf." It's always just the same dwarf every time I look at it. A lot of stuff's just being put away. And then the newest one's almost like AK. Yeah, that's... You need to get more videos on that channel, Belle. You really, really do. Although, like, the reality is, like, the next 24 videos you put up there are all going to get, like, 100 views each, but, you know. That one was just an example of good thumbnail, and the internet liked it. Also, chat investments are open if you want to invest your tickets. That's the right color, is it not? Yes. You still should. Yes, you should. But, like, the benefit of that, though, is, like, you know, I don't know what your reasoning for starting that channel was, whether or not it was, like, hobby or, like, potential side income source, but, like, at least the income problem's been sorted now. At least for the time being. Finally, your experience from streaming on GOG has paid off. Oh, hey, Hex. Thanks for the lurks. God damn. Almost 1,500 hours. That's a lot of hours, dude. So this one goes all the way to the end. Now, I'm going to use iron. Because, fortunately, I have virtually limitless iron. Because of all the goblinite they keep shipping up here. And I've got another stoneworker withdrawing from society. Another artifact. Everybody loves the art defunct. Such a long walk across this bridge. You know, I'm kind of regretting making this bridge. On one hand, I kind of love it because it's like this kind of epically massive thing for sort of no reason. But I'm starting to really hate it because it's like, it takes them so long to walk across it. You going for the Craftsdorf shop? Looks like it. All right, Kodal. Make us something cool. Well, the adamantine's the other way? You're walking the wrong way. Wait, what are you grabbing? It's a stone? Dang it. It's another loss for me today. Look at that. Just can't win. Not even fair. Just can't win. All right. Are you going for adamantine now? There you go. See, Dwarf figured it out. You got to go for the adamantine. That's what you really want in your artifact, is adamantine. All of the adamantine. Got all of it. He'll do it. Question is, are you going to need bones, though? I might need to. Really need to just like get out of the habit of throwing all the corpses out of my body piles and down into the lava, because I keep on burning up all the bones and then having to build artifacts, and then they're like, I can't find anything that I need, guys. It's like, oh, okay, now I need to slaughter 15 more pigs or whatever. I've just gotten into such a consistent habit about just disposing of them immediately. Need to get out of that habit. It's a bad habit. I mean, it's a good habit, but it's a bad habit. Good win, Frog. Congrats. You've won 4 times as much as I have today. Just with that one win, because I've invested 4 times today and lost every single one of them. Which means you've got a significantly higher win rate than I do. Alright, you gotta climb up. Gotta go do the thing. I do probably really need to get rid of everything from this tile, though. Also get rid of these. You, and you. Over time, all win rates approach the same. Yeah, I don't know about that. There are some people who insist that they've only ever lost. I want to say Ayer said that they have a 0% win rate and they've invested like 12 or 13 times now. That's the classic, well, don't buy a lottery ticket then. What's up, Bass Relic? Is it base or bass? I always want to read that as bass, but I assume it's base. Oh, it's a short form Sebastian. Gotcha. Interesting. So we've got Hungry Head Left Wing Bone. That's an interesting choice. Rough Moss Opals, Stray Wombat Bone, Cave Spider Silk Cloth, Unicorn Leather, Willow Logs, Moss Opals, Raw Adamantine, and Marble. Hopefully they make something rad. That gets suspended up there? Nope. Just needs masonry. Although, you know what? Let's actually cancel that. And remake it out of iron. Because I can get it done quicker. Because turns out I got more dwarves running around, like, ready to make shit out of iron actively than I do running around ready to make stuff for mason. My masons are more busy, basically. All right, I'll get all that stuff put down. It's been a little bit since the last siege. Which means it's probably a bad idea to go attacking the enemy, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still tempting me to. Because, you know, you don't want to attack the enemy when it's been a while because they might just show up the second you leave. And that's the worst time to be attacked is when your army's not at home. Because then they all come back and then they die. Slowly, piece by piece. Where did you go? Stupid iron. There it is. Getting close to the end of the beautification of this stuff. Come out later. Honestly, this fortress has been very successful. Like, we've completed almost every goal I've had up until now. We made it to mountain home status. We've got the queen. We've got the... we had a king in the fort, and then he tantrumed and got beheaded. So, you know, is fitting fate for a king, I would say, who was, of course, King Orange, the Mighty. We've had many fun events. Some of the biggest sieges I've ever seen. We got to kill Blizzard Men. Fought ogres. We fought goblins. We fought elves, although the elves that we fought were actually goblins because they were enslaved by goblins. Good times. Good times all around, frankly. As for today, chat, I'm just trying to keep the chat active. Just trying to keep the chat moving because we've been pretty lurky since before I went off to go get lunch, but it's gotten progressively more lurky. So if anybody's got anything they want to chat about, Dwarf Fortress related or otherwise, just give me a shout. You know, I never fully understand. How can Apex Legends be in the top sellers right now? I don't understand. Apex Legends is on the top, like, popular top sellers for Dwarf Fortress currently. Stoneworkers created Stukos Ilid. a marble ring and claim and offers it to the ancient beard. I kind of don't care because it's a fucking ring, but I'll take a glance. Yeah, I kind of don't care. It's fine. Thank you for your addition to the fortress wealth, dwarf. Most of the construction stuff is going this way. And they go down. They go down. Then they go down. It's a very long route to construct things. I wonder if this got canceled. Nope, it didn't. Wow. Of my Twitch audience? I have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, are you asking me to predict how much I'll grow? I'm not totally sure what the question is, but I don't know. I mean, I've been involved in many other game launches in the past, and every single other one, every single other major game launch I've been a part of hasn't gone well for me. So, like, consistently, every single game launch I've ever been a part of has ended with, like, just bigger channels than mine getting all the traffic and mine just kind of not really having anything remarkable happen. So I have no idea. It'd be nice if the channel grows, because that would mean I have consistent pay, generally, is what that means. Are more likely to continue having consistent pay, I guess, maybe is more accurate. But aside from that, like, I don't know. I really don't know. We were talking about this earlier before you got here. It's a tricky subject for me just because I've had, you know, I've always just barely survived. Like, that's my entire career on this website has been like, I'm doing well enough, but I've never done well, if that makes sense. Like, in comparison to the vast majority of the people on Twitch, I've always done great. In comparison to my peers, I feel like I could have always done better. So I don't know. Phineas, what up? It's good to see you. So yeah, I don't know. It's tricky, but comparing your success to other people's success is always a very deep pit, and I have a habit of doing that. How's things? We're prepping to be besieged by hell a second time. Down here is the glowy pits and Satan, so we are building very long hallways to trap as many demons in as possible and hopefully pick them off one by one. Is what we are doing. Or alternatively, just crush them. Hopefully it'll be fun. Yeah. Had a pretty exciting day yesterday. Got swarmed by demons, but yeah, I don't know. I think it really depends on how much support I get from peers on Twitch around lunchtime. That's really what it depends on. Just playing some chess. Enjoy your chess. I have a chess room on my Discord where you can brag about your wins. Or losses. There is a pretty consistent small group that talk on my Just got done with work and you're waiting on your dinner to arrive? What's for dinner? Domino's? Gotcha. You know, I've recently come back around on Domino's to a degree. I just have to be the right level of depressed to actually eat it. Queen has mandated construction of some beat sticks. All right, well, making 3 more beat sticks. I'm starting to wonder, how many maces do I have in this fort? Probably a lot. You have to remind yourself to choose delivery instead of pickup. Yeah. That Domino's for me is very much depression food. Except for when they have like if they do those coupons every now and again where it's just like 50% off all pizzas. It's like $7 for a medium thin crust pizza. Like that could be a pretty terrible pizza, and I'm still not going to be mad. So that's about the only time I will cave and eat a Domino's pizza is when they're just like, yeah, it's like 50% off a $14 pizza. It's like, all right, well, that's like the price of a frozen, like an expensive frozen pizza, but they're still better than frozen pizzas. Not by much, but they're still better than frozen pizzas. So at that point, it becomes a, man, I can suddenly justify this now. This is suddenly like an okay thing. They're getting chicken? Yeah. Like their chicken bites things? When they match the frozen pizza cost? Yeah. I mean, that's about the quality of the pizza, frankly. You would put Domino's above just about any frozen pizza you've had, but it's close enough that you still buy frozen pizza on occasion for the convenience. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm beyond to the point in my life where I need frozen pizzas, which is a very nice place to be. You know, especially like with because I never really got into the habit of buying frozen pizza, but for a while there, for a good long while there, actually, I got quite into the habit of buying frozen lasagna. Specifically when my ex used to live here. Because it was just like a no-brain dinner, and she couldn't cook for shit. So she would just like I'd buy 2 or 3 of those and leave them in the freezer, and then if I couldn't make dinner, she would make one of those. And so I always got into that kind of habit. Little Caesars is frozen pizza. You know, genuine truth. I don't think I've ever actually had a Little Caesars pizza. I've had their pasta, but I don't think I've ever actually had a Little Caesars pizza. It's just like one of those. It's like those times when I stayed. What's the word I'm looking for here? I've never had Taco Bell. Also, I'm getting comments from the developer of Brigand, that very janky game that I played. And apparently if you have Windows Defender running, his saving and load system doesn't work. So I think that might be why it took so many bajillions of years to load. Whereas by Little Caesars, but for me, they've always been like warm. I've seen pictures of Little Caesars pizza, and I will state that it doesn't look like pizza to me. Just kind of bouncing off what you said. It looks like something you would get in like a $5 cafeteria. It's just kind of a fact. Yeah, fair. The main reason I hate Domino's right now isn't because like I think their pizza's bad or anything. It's just the Domino's that opened in my building because I have like a takeaway slash delivery Domino's like in my apartment complex now. It's in like one of the storefronts down at the front, but it just completely fucks the entire front half of the building because it's always packed with traffic trying to pick up, drop off, deliver, or whatever with pizzas to the point where like all of our open, like there used to be tons of parking around my building where like my mom could like park and come visit and stuff. Never any parking now. So it's always crammed with like people who don't live here. And also it's loud. Like the delivery truck, like because they use the refrigerated delivery trucks, right? It just like it's like as loud as a garbage truck, and it sits there for like 3 hours twice a week. It's fucking obnoxious. And then late at night you get like because they're open until 2 o'clock in the morning. So like late at night, like some idiot will be driving in to collect his pizza and slam into somebody else, and you'll have car accidents at like 1:30 in the morning, and somebody broke their windows because like they had a mask policy longer than most businesses did here, and like somebody broke one of their windows because they told him to please step outside and put on a mask, and he refused to, so he literally broke their front window. They ended up delivering him his pizza on the outside of the building, and then he got arrested as he collected his pizza. Yeah, I don't know. I fucking hate having a Domino's. It used to be, ages ago, it was a tiny little privately owned coffee shop, which was lovely, which went out of business a long time ago, I think, because the owner moved. Like, the owner just shut it down. And then it was a tiny little noodle house. Like, it was like this little family-run noodle restaurant, which was good. Didn't have delivery, which I think is what killed them, and then pandemic happened, and they closed immediately. And now we have this fucking Domino's. It's like, oh, shit would fucking close. I wish they would move, but they never will. And it's like single-handedly ruined this building. And now, like, some of you guys may have like heard me complaining about people outside, but people will like go, like, walk up to the building, order pizza, then walk up to like the public seating area in the private property area of this building. Oh shit! Sorry. You still on the map? No, you're not. So, my, were creature showed up again off map, but I didn't actually get to see it. It's a sheriff now? Where Possum Sheriff? Where have you gone and become a sheriff? This dwarf, is one of my dwarves from a previous fort that became a were-possum. And I locked it in the walls, then when I retired that fort, it got out. And I guess it somehow gained a rank somewhere else? That's kind of funny. Story of, Cyril, the edge of the map creeper, continues. And currently, it's right here and fighting with this unicorn, but we can't see him because he's stealthed. Yeah, see, he killed a unicorn. Let's see if we can see this one get hit. I think I'll just leave the map. Maybe I'll just leave the map. But the thing is, this map is so big, it never actually because this map is 3 times the size of the default map, right? It's fighting with another unicorn here. It's 3 times the size of the default map. So it never actually makes it to the point where we can break its stealth. Because, like, the full moon, yeah, it's full moon's over, so it's no longer a were creature. And then it just leaves the edge of the map. So I literally have, like, this predator at the edge of the map. We've only spotted it, like, once or twice, but... Yeah, we've got, like, private, like, property area for this building that has 3 different little seating areas, and it's supposed to be for people in the building to sit, but it's just always used up now by people waiting for pizzas. And what's even better is then people will just hang out there because they've like decided now that it's like, oh, this is a place where we can hang out. So we just have people who don't live in my building now just like loitering and smoking weed all the time, which is fine. I loiter outside of my building all the time and smoke weed. But like, if you're going to do that, don't, you know, play music real loud. Don't bring a group of friends. Don't do that late at night and have a party, which they've done a couple times now. And it's like, these are just random people. And I've seen like, they're repeat offenders, right? Like it's the same groups of people, but it's like, they just show up and they make noise. They leave their garbage everywhere. Yeah, I'm pissed that Domino's exists. I'm such a get off my lawn old man these days. But scrolling back up to what Aqua was saying. Took you years to find a good spot in Seattle. You were amazed. Then again, there were more good Chinese and Thai. Back in the East. I don't bother looking for good pizza places because there's so many. Like, I don't bother looking for fast food places even because there's so many good, like, Japanese, Korean, and Vietnamese places around here that, like, I can get, like, a large set of sushi rolls faster than I can get McDonald's. So why would I go for sushi? Or why would I go for, like, fast food when I could just go for, like, Korean fried chicken? Way better. Stuff's fantastic. Served quick. And also part of the problem, Phineas, is because the Domino's is literally like, it's like a hole in the wall. They have no seating, right? It's just like a shelf, takeaway pizzas. That's it. Like they have like a bench that you can sit on outside to wait, but it's not like a place where people can sit. We'll see you when we see a base relic. Thanks for swinging by. But yeah, that Sheriff Werepossum is another like really cool story that's come from this fort because that Werepossum has traveled halfway across the world. Because it was originally on the other side. Like, I can't wait to look at Legends and see what it's done. Although it's probably just like, it lives right next door to here and just pops over and just eats my unicorns and then leaves. But, like, it's not the fault of the Domino's, which is why, like, there's kind of really nothing we can do aside from police the private property. So the result is, like, on multiple occasions at, like, midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, I've had to, like, put on my slippers and walk outside and be like, building's quiet time is 11 o'clock at night. And they'll be like, fuck you, man. And I'll be like, I live here and I work in the morning. I'll call the non-emergency number if you don't shut up. Like, that's literally where it's gotten to. I had to do it last night, too, where it's like to go outside and tell, like, people who don't want to be quiet, which is the best way to become the least popular person on the block. But, like, just so fucking tired of listening to them. Let's just remove dump from here so I don't run into problems with that. Keep clearing, keep building, keep clearing, keep building. Get in there. I think they probably made it in-house. It was a hole-in-the-wall, amazing stuff. Cheap, 10-inch, 2-topping takeout. Used to grab it on your way home off the bus. Hell yeah. You know, it's a little bit messed up in my mind that it's cheaper to, like, order dough from overseas than it is to just make it in-house. Now you might get sushi tomorrow instead. You're welcome. Really should be a tenant associations that coordinate together to deal with situations like that. The problem is we can't because we're a strata building. So this isn't a tenant building. This is a strata building. So if you own your unit and you are a member of strata, you can actually deal with stuff like that. But for me, I'm not on strata. I'm just a tenant. So I have to go through my management company that manages my unit. They can talk to strata, and I've talked to them. And they're like, yeah, we're working with strata. But the problem is the strata in my building, and this is the actual issue, is the strata in my building is understaffed. They're very small and they don't do their job properly because there's nobody to vote them out because there's so few actual owners living in this building because the vast majority of the people living in this building are renters, not owners. So most renters don't give a shit because noise and disturbance and concerns and stuff like that, and the building going down stops your rent from going up. So this is why I want to move. Anyway, what's the killing mechanism in this hallway? Nothing. It's, well, drawbridges optimally, but outside of the bridges, I'm more using this as a trapping mechanism than a killing mechanism. The idea is to trap them in here, not necessarily kill them. And then slowly go through one by one and either redirect them elsewhere or kill them after the fact. Is the plan. All the dwarves. Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of representation. They're just shit and don't care. Like, as an example, like, this was a pretty, not a stupidly hot summer, like last summer was hotter, but it was a pretty hot summer, right? And our sprinklers were not working for our garden, right? So, like, we have, like, a very large set of gardens in the back area, in between kind of the horseshoe-shaped building. And then on the outside of the building, there's, like, more gardens. None of the sprinklers turned on at the beginning of the year. Well, because in order to turn them on, they have to reach out to the company that put them together and get them to send their guy down, and he goes into the basement and he flips a switch and then he goes upstairs. And then he checks the whole system to make sure that it's functioning and it didn't get damaged over the winter, and then they work. They're supposed to do that in the spring. We started complaining that they hadn't turned them on in August because none of the sprinklers turned on, and they're like, "Yeah, we called the company and they didn't show up." It's like, well, fucking call them again. And there was like a back and forth between me, my neighbors, and like one of the guys who's in this building who actually owns his unit, all talking with Strata and our management companies, asking them to turn these sprinklers on because all of our hedges were dying. We had a fucking tree outside, like, lose all of its color and, like, shrivel. We had, like, a whole line of roses that are all dead now. It's like, gosh. Goblins have arrived. Another vile force of darkness. So, anyway. Me just, like, complaining about my building issues. I don't know how entertaining that is, but it's a frustrating situation, to put it simply. Okay, so this actually seems like a siege, not like the last one. Goblins, 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 goblins. And never mind, it's also a pretty small one. I'm convinced that this, if it's the branded witch people... Yes, the dread of scrapes. I think these guys are running out of soldiers. They used to send these huge armies, but now they're just sending, like, these tiny ones. Morning, Stone. Your dwarf got a little upset, so I've got them training. Just really wanted to fight. Even though you're, like, missing part of your arm. But you're no longer depressed, so. It is kind of justice, isn't it, Kobold? It is kind of justice. It's like, well, you'll run out of soldiers before we will. More green boys for the meat grinder. But then sometimes they'll send like 4 or 5 small armies, and then they'll just send a really big army. It's like, yes, your children grew up. Good for you. Oi, Stone could kill all these goblins? Oh, probably. I mean, we had a siege earlier that was much more interested in killing the gnomes than actually fighting with us, Stone. So I had to send my armies out to fight them, and they did pretty well. But Stone wasn't in the army at that point. Also, we just had another appearance from the old were-possum. I think it was a possum. Cyril. But anyway, that dwarf is no longer just a dwarf. They're now a sheriff. No, that's actually probably, yeah, that's me dumping them in the lava. They're not stealing those. That's just me throwing them in the lava. That's old clothing that I'm hucking into the lava. It's fine. Trust me. Perfectly normal. Right. I should be able to just, like, get all these guys in the torching room all at once, I think. All right, let's see. Okay, so this is the back markers. I don't even think those guys need to be in. I just need this whole front group to be in there. Although it looks like Dost Nagosp is a little bit enthusiastic here, sprinting ahead of the crew. Seems to be a bit enthusiastic. That goblin back there was enthusiastic, but enthusiastically tripped over my Cuddy Cuddy's device. Nobody really wants to deal with a Cuddy Cuddy device. You know, it's funny. This whole hallway used to be full of green serrated glass disc traps. That's the only one that's left, and somehow that one just hasn't broken. You mean where all the corpses are? There's no corpses. What are you talking about? Just mysterious full suits of armor. Without the soldiers. Alright, let's send you after the next one. Fires a bolt. Misses. Fires a second bolt. Misses. Dead. Perfect. Alright, this should be plenty. I don't think I actually care to wait for them all to be in there. This is more than enough. Holy shit, what was he? What's that? What's that? A diorite Espuz. Espuz is a large handheld wind instrument. This guy was a fucking bard. Consisting of 12 adjacent cylindrical stone pipes. The musician blows into the fipple? Is that a real word? He blows into the fipple, chat. I love it when they blow into the fipple. It blows into the fipple at the end of each pipe, and the instrument has a 3-octave range going from an extremely low to a mid-low pitch. The instrument has a clear, evolving, rugged timbre. That poor bard. Hope they gave him some training before they sent him into the meat grinder. Anyway. They'll be fossilized like the lot of them. All right, well, there goes the lava. We are going to melt the instrument. And with that button pressed, game got a little laggy. We can allow the dwarves to go back to what they were doing, which is unsuspending all these walls, all of these floors, and that bridge. Like a pan flute? I'm gonna Google fipple now and see what happens. Fipple. Wow, it is a real word. Okay, so a fipple is like the hole in a, like, what? That's a fipple. The more you know. The mouthpiece on a woodwind is a fipple. I didn't know that, but now I do. I feel educated and enlightened. This is going to be a pretty easy destruction of this little siege, though. 17th century Icelandic origin, flippy, which means horse lip. Interesting. I mean, that checks out, I would say. Has hell killed everyone yet? No, we killed about half of them. We killed all of the flying ones that were down there. We killed them all yesterday, though. It's rare to see a word of Icelandic origin. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's about as likely as seeing a word of, like, Finnish origin. Have I really not killed more than half of them? You know, I guess we just need to wait for the rest of them to pop into flames right about here. And whoosh. But all right. Can leave that off. I can jump up here. I can pull this lever. I mean, almost like whenever I do look into etymology, it's almost always the case that English is. There are very few English words in the English language that originate from the English language, with the exception of maybe like "dough." Like the English language is just like a massive like catastrophe of stolen words. I think it's actually, it is fair for me to say that "dough" is entirely an English creation. Because, like, Simpsons. trying to think, like, what other words are, like, except for, like, maybe memes, but one could also argue that those are, like, language agnostic. Plenty of words that just spontaneously appeared one day. You know, like this conversation is just reminding me of the history of swear words. Possibly the best ever Netflix original show. Also because it's hosted by Nicolas Cage, and it's literally just like Nicolas Cage sitting there cursing repeatedly for like 30 minutes each episode. It's like, today we are talking about fuck. It's a very good, very, very, very good little short series. Unfortunately, they skip some of my favorite words, but, you know, oh well. It's a very entertaining little educational show. Which I recommend if you happen to still have a Netflix for subscription for some god-awful reason. No, DO is spelled D, yeah, apostrophe O, which is spelled or originated in The Simpsons because Homer would say DO really loudly and was put into the dictionary credited with Homer. So, oh my gosh, new build. Who did what? This? Still same build, still same fort. We're just building a very long hallway. This hallway leads to hell. It's a hallway to hell. Has annoyed grunt. Sure. Would that be the O nut? No, there's no nut at the end of it. It's just DO. Finally found a spire? Yes, we found a spire yesterday, actually. See? Hell. Killed a bunch of demons yesterday, too. So now we are, you know, working on putting away the last of the bits. Last of the bits and pieces. Also, if anybody wants to be kind of amused by something, I'm going to be posting a thing in sub chat in a moment. Because I'm pretty amused by this. This has been happening in the background for the last 30 minutes. There, it's in sub chat if people want to go see what I'm referring to. And there we go. Can continue working away. But yeah, I don't know. If anybody else could find me English words entirely of English origin, like modern English origin, I'd be kind of curious. Sure that plenty of them exist, but like actually spotting them is kind of difficult. I'm also literally building this entire contraption out of Goblinite. Okay, there's a bridge up there that needs to be hooked up. But we're getting close. We are, in fact, getting close. This is like the DF backrooms. It's just an endless maze. I've built endless mazes. Like I built an entire Z level into single tile width labyrinth maze tunnels once. I've actually thought about making an actual puzzle maze and then putting it on like Steam Workshop or something once that's available for adventure mode players once adventure mode's in the game. But yeah, I don't know. Kind of. But I've built much bigger, more elaborate mazes before. So this to me doesn't feel much like the backrooms, but could kind of see the comparison. Also, chat investments seem to be open if you wish to invest your tickets. Thank you, Stone. Yeah, no, this isn't the biggest or the craziest maze I've made before. I've made much larger, much crazier, much more elaborate mazes in the past. Cool, I did remember to close that. How deep is this? Let's open up this side. And also open up top side. Just let this drain faster. Get this stuff up here cleaned out. We can also get some of the clothing up there cleaned out as well. We'll speed up this process pretty significantly. So need to open that front door so that we can hopefully allow traders in if they decide to show up and ask to trade. Come. That's one. That's two. And that's going to deal with some of the clothing, which will be very nice. Meanwhile, the dwarves down here are still putting stuff away. I wish you could just go to sleep tonight and wake up when Dwarf Fortress was released. I can tell you this. I can guarantee you 100% they will not surprise drop it. You know, it's kind of funny. Like, I've been seeing more and more people asking about that. Like, are you just going to, like, surprise release it one day? No. There will be a point where it has a labeled release date. So I can tell you that you don't need to worry about that happening. Because in the current era of video games, it's very unwise to just like stealth drop a game or quietly release a game like that. It's very wise to have an idea of what you're doing. All right, more of them coming in and dropping stuff off, piece by piece. There's still a... Essentially what I need to do is I need a drawbridge at the beginning and end of each one of these long hallways, and then we're pretty much good to go. So yeah, it's unlikely that we'll finish her up today. We'll have to do her next week. But hey, you know, something to look forward to, right? And then I guess, like, next major fort we'll do will be a Halloween fort. Because, you know, it'll be we're almost into October. When we hit October, it's spooky season, which means we'll be settling in a different world, different everything, brand new everything. We'll find the evilest faction with the evilest gods and make an evil fort in an evil biome and be evil, and it'll be a good time. Obviously, you know, we'll have necromancers, zombies, and evil ghosties, and all that jazz. It's just a matter of how we actually theme it that I haven't figured out yet. Still working on that. Still in the planning phase, but... Because this fort is kind of coming close to an end, but... I don't expect to actually finish it today. I was hoping I would be able to finish it today, but this hallway setup is... I always have this bad habit of being like, yeah, I can finish this fortress today, and then end up building something that's just, like, way too elaborate for me to ever actually finish it that day. Like, I'd like to finish this fort today, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Probably what we'll do is we'll do a little bit more of this, and try and get the last of this flooring done at least, and then go play some Songs of Six. Stays open and helpful, and it doesn't turn toxic. I think that's largely up to the current community. And what I mean by that is, like, I mean, I worry about that too. But I do think that it is largely up to the current Dwarf Fortress community to kind of be ambassadors to the new people and set an example. I mean, there's already toxicity in the Dwarf Fortress community, right? Like, literally just go to the Dwarf Fortress forums on Steam and just look. There are some pretty mean people in there already. And some really dumb shit. Like, I'm not gonna show this because I don't want to, like, show this person's name on stream, but this person posted on the Steam forums, "Losing my mind? Question mark. I could have swore this game has been out for a while. What the fuck? What game am I thinking of that must be like this? I must be losing my mind." Like, there's, like, a lot of very strange things, and some of the comments are just, like, kind of bizarre. Please allow pre-order or early access is another thread. Please allow pre-order or 30x or early access. Even a release date would be amazing. The cheeky's time is subjective window gets less cute when developers start to complain about lack of funding. Communication would be great. Better yet, let us pay you for an unfinished product. The one thing not to do publicly is complain about a lack of financial support when offering absolutely nothing on the front end. Like, that's the sort of thing that I'm seeing a lot. It's like, literally and then saying, please show potential fans some respect. It's like, how's that showing potential fans respect? The game's literally free. Go play it, you weirdos. Like, I'm playing it right now. It's great. I give them money every month. So I don't know. It's currently, like, the toxicity in the Steam forums is, like, a lot of just people being really frustrated about Dwarf Fortress's, I guess, antiquated, if you want to call it, live development model of just, like, it's a free game. And, like, they're used to big companies operating like big companies, and Bay 12 is not a big company. It's like two brothers that sit at their computers and work on a video game, right? And I think it's just kind of up to us to just kind of present the, hey, this is a pretty old community, full of a lot of people who've been playing games in this community for a long time. Act like adults. And I think that's up to us, really. I think that if we do a good job kind of integrating new folk into the Dwarf Fortress sphere, I think it'll be fine. And of course there will be fringes, but I don't expect it to, like, devolve into toxic nightmares or anything. It's not like it's a PvP game. It's not like, you know, I was trying to play Hell Let Loose because a friend of mine's gotten into that game, and holy fuck, that game is toxic. But, you know, it's also a PvP game with always-on voice comms, and you need it. So, I don't know. I think it highly depends on the style of game, whether or not a game goes toxic, and whether or not the original community does a good job integrating the newcomers. And that's largely up to us, right? And I'll do my damnedest to keep people in line in my chat, and that's all I can really do. Same with my comments section. So I'm not too worried. I think it'll be okay. I think at worst it'll end up kind of like the RimWorld community, which is just like a kind of edgy version of the Dwarf Fortress community. Like, the RimWorld community is not that bad. Admittedly, the war crime / cannibalism jokes get kind of old. But then again, I personally think that the, like, knife ears / murder all elves memes get kind of old. So, I don't know. Although I personally think that making jokes out of war crimes isn't funny regardless of the context. But who knows? Oh, I expect the Steam forum to become toxic, but I also expect, yeah, a lot of people to get banned from Steam forums. Dwarf Fortress? Well, Bay 12 has existed since the early 90s, and Dwarf Fortress went in development in 2003. But it was publicly released in 2006. Shortly after PayPal was announced, or it became a public thing. You find them very irate, like annoying, I'm assuming is what you mean, Stone? Every single faction in Dwarf Fortress is just a collection of characters designed to tell a narrative. I don't hate any of them. I'm happy that they all exist in my video game. Speaking of things, Steam just suddenly informed me that Steam is no longer available. What the fuck's Steam doing? Steam, are you okay? Seems to be working. Just got a my friends list from Steam popped up just now. It was like, your friends are unavailable. It's like, that's fine. Lamond, hey, what's up? Does Steam need help? Probably. Steam's just like, your friends are unavailable. It's like, they usually are. That's why I don't have any. Moving on. I'm playing Dwarg Saga. I've seen that game pop up a couple times. At least I'm thinking. Wait, what you're referring to? Hold on. When you say Dwarg Saga, you mean the game that's on itch, right? That's on Steam. Dwarg Saga. Yeah, you're referring to this, right? Which has some of the ugliest sprites I've ever seen, but you found it on Patreon? Interesting. Yeah, I've had that game I actually own it twice, apparently. I got it from two separate I got it from two separate bundles. Hey, Stewie, long time. What's up? Should I try Dwarg Saga? I've thought about it for a while. See how it compares to Dwarf Fortress. Although it seems a bit too close to Dwarf Fortress for me. Like, I want games that do stuff that's a little bit different. I don't really see what that game does that's different or interesting or better. To me, it just kind of looks like a less Dwarf Fortress. System of settlements to differ culturally. Not all elf settlements are tree huggers, but not all goblin settlements are chaotic evil. Literally what Soulshinery just said, they literally do. I mean, visually they don't change much. They're, the variety from settlement to settlement is pretty static, but they their goals and motives are very different. How's the trap hall coming? It's coming. Getting close to the initial part of it being completed. I think that the game could do... I think it would do the game a lot of service if it did more to surface the in-game difference between those motives, you know? Like, if the game did a better job surfacing that information, I think that would be a huge benefit to the game. And right now I think it does a really bad job, like, explaining and showing the player those differences without actually, like, digging and looking at them very closely. Yeah, and I think that's the problem with, like, Dwarf Fortress as a whole, is like Dwarf Fortress isn't... Okay. Some people are going to point at me like, blind, you're nuts! Dwarf Fortress is a very easy game. Don't hurt me. Dwarf Fortress is a very easy, simple game. And the reason it's a very easy, simple game is because the vast majority of the insanity mechanics that everybody talks about are completely hidden under the hood. You don't see them or even encounter them in a lot of cases. They're completely hidden. And this is for the better and for the worse. It's for the better because it makes learning to play the game less batshit. But it's for the worse because some people just completely miss entire mechanics or incorrectly learn mechanics thinking that they've learned them correctly and then spend the next 6 years playing the game. Not wrong, but in a way that will actively make your game less pleasant. Yeah, I know, Slow Shinery. Anyway, moving on. So, because Dwarf Fortress does such a good job hiding the actual insanity of it, it does too good of a job in a lot of cases with that. If that makes any sense. Yeah, I've had dwarven factions run by goblins. Like, I was getting, like, the goblins that I'm at war with, right? Or one of the goblin factions that I'm at war with seems to be, like, half humans and elves, because they keep sending armies of humans and elves mixed in. So it's like, there is actually quite a bit of diversity from faction to faction. You just have to look for it. It usually just lets you build a nice town sometimes. And then sometimes it drops 3 dragons and a forest titan on you, and then suddenly everybody is a red smear. But usually it's quite nice to you. Yeah, with rare blizzard men. Yeah, you never see those. So I don't know. But, you know, it's really funny because, like, Dwarf Fortress is naturally marketing itself to, like, the RimWorld crowd. Because... you know, RimWorld is so heavily advertised as, like, this inspired by Dwarf Fortress thing, right? So, like, the RimWorld crowd is just, like, naturally looking at Dwarf Fortress. You know who should be looking at Dwarf Fortress? The fucking Stardew Valley people. I think they would like Dwarf Fortress more. You've never seen a dragon in DF? Yeah, I've seen 4 in, like, 10,000 hours. Dwarf Fortress is easy. It's as hard as you want to make it for yourself. Put the town in a red smear unless you build every town for fighting. Unless you build every town for fighting, even on the easiest difficulty. Yeah, because RimWorld's a tower defense game. Dwarf Fortress is a fantasy world simulator. RimWorld is a wave-based tower defense game, which is fine. It's a really good one of those. But... RimWorld is a tower defense game. Like, yes, there are tower defense elements in Dwarf Fortress, I guess, if you want to be reductive, but, like, Dwarf Fortress is a world simulation that may occasionally accidentally squish you. Whereas RimWorld is a tower defense game actively trying to kill you. That's the main difference, like, just on the surface between RimWorld and Dwarf Fortress, is, like, RimWorld is always trying to kill you. Dwarf Fortress doesn't give a shit. Yeah, true. Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Fortress sounds like some weird tower defense game just by its name, whereas RimWorld to me just sounds like BattleTech fan fiction, but to everybody else for some reason it sounds like porn. You know, it's actually really funny. I feel like this is like a constant thing that I'm calling back to. But when I was down at PAX, I talked to Zach and Tarn about Kenshi, and it was funny because that Tarn's statement on Kenshi was, he's like, oh yeah, we played Kenshi, but we never played the release version. He's like, they played a much older build of it when it was in early access at some point. And he says he remembers playing it and going, yeah, this is adventure mode. Neat. It's like, adventure mode is much more simplistic in some ways, but it's also way more complicated in other ways. It's got much more basic, like, poorly put together mechanics in some ways, but in other ways, way better mechanics. So, yeah, I don't know. Kenshi's better in some ways, adventure mode is better in some ways. But, like, I'm actually really excited that they've delayed adventure mode for the premium release, like, and it'll be out later, because we get to have a brand new community of people that we get to spend 6 months to a year teaching Fortress mode, and then one day just suddenly turn around and be like, by the way, here's a whole new video game. Also, it's Kenshi. Have fun. I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope that people catch on to adventure mode, because I think like the coolest outcome of premium would be that a whole new community of people suddenly start playing adventure mode, because adventure mode is awesome if used correctly. During the RimWorld Alpha, when it was just a DF clone, you got turned off by the tower defense focus. This is the story of my brief relationship with RimWorld, which lasted about 3,500 to 4,000 hours, and about 3,000 on the Steam version. I loved the early builds. Loved the early builds. And then they slowly removed every single fun mechanic from the video game until by the time it hit 1.0, I effectively hated it. It's like, I loved the early ideas. Like, those fear mechanics were awesome. Covering fire was awesome. The, like, mental breaks where they'd, like, strip their clothes off in the heat of desert, or, like, walk out into the, like, jungle and, like, die to some wild animal and all that shit. Like, back when they actually had free will and could just fuck around and it was less of, like, a micromanagement tower defense game. My God, that game was so cool and had so many neat ideas. And it's like, I don't actively hate it. It's a good game. It's good at what it is. It's just, I don't like what it is. It's fine. I just don't like what it is. But I don't know. I will say this to anybody who wants a game that's like Dwarf Fortress but isn't Dwarf Fortress, is go play Odd Realm. Especially considering it's got a demo and it's $15 right now. Or it's $15. $17.49 Canadian monies. Sappers, the people who dig through your walls. But play Odd Realm. If you want a game that's like Dwarf Fortress but not Dwarf Fortress, play Odd Realm. The way I describe Odd Realm is, imagine Dwarf Fortress is Minecraft, okay? Just for a second, imagine, yeah, I can give you a link if you like. Imagine Dwarf Fortress is Minecraft, okay? If Dwarf Fortress is Minecraft, then Odd Realm is its Terraria. Odd Realm is cool. It's got Z levels. It's got weird world bosses that you can, like, summon and fight. It's got multiple different races. It does randomly generate the world, but, like, all of the lore is static from run to run. Or from town to town, I guess, that you start. You can start multiple towns in one map. You can also literally play raft in it. You can start in the middle of an ocean, and it will just plop you on a little wooden floating raft, and you can, like, build around it and, like, build a raft collecting flotsam and jetsam. It's a neat game. There's, like, cool little written characters that you find underground. There's, I think, 3 playable factions in it right now. I can't remember if the third one's out of the beta branch yet. What do I think of the game Nebula? I never played it, but I've seen, like, preview footage. I've seen GIFs of it from the devs on Twitter. I don't really have any thoughts on it. Kind of looks like The Last Starship. I find that spaceship building colony simulation games, that's a sentence, often end up feeling very, 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 very dull to me. I've never really played one that I've stuck with. And I've played a few of them. Actually, Odd Realm came out in 2017. It was on itch.io for like 2 years before it came out on on Steam. And it was like, it was $5 when it launched on itch, and then it went up to $10 on Steam, and now he recently upped the price to 15. But if anybody wants to ask the dev of Odd Realm anything, I'm getting beers with him on Monday, so because he's from my city. I was posting pictures of beer on Twitter the other day, and he's like, "Man, I'm jealous." I'm like, "Show up, let's hang out." So we're gonna go get beer. You were going to be upset about the Minecraft Terraria thing, but then you explain it and you're like, shit, that's exactly how the differences work. Right? I'm not an idiot. I know what I'm talking about. Jesus. I mean, then the real question is, it's like, if Dwarf Fortress is Minecraft and Odd Realm is Terraria, then what the fuck's RimWorld? DayZ? Like, no, actually, RimWorld's, fuck, what's the name of that game? 7 Days to Die. In that comparison, RimWorld is 7 Days to Die. Good question, actually, instructor. Probably because Odd World exists. And Odd Realm is very close to Odd World. RimWorld is Roblox? No. We don't talk about Roblox here. We're all adults. Also, yes, shoutouts to Oddworlds, Abe's Odyssey, classics. We are damn close to finishing this flooring. I played Abe's Odyssey at a friend's house a bajillion years ago and haven't really thought about the franchise since, so. Ran like crap, though. Yeah. Those games haven't been very well made for a very long time, unfortunately. You love those games to death? Yeah. I didn't have the consoles that they were on, so I only was ever able to play them at friends' houses. I kind of missed most of them, to be honest. Pablo Rasta! Thank you very much for keeping that sub alive for the 13th month. Tracking I get a round of beers for Pablo keeping that sub alive. Thanks for the first resub in 5 hours. Cheers, man. Late hello? Eh, it's fine. Better late than never. And a bunch of magma crabs appear to have wandered in. All right, well. Careful there. Did that? A stoneworker just punched it. Punches the magma crab in the body with their left hand, tearing the fat and bruising them. Literally just punched it to death. Wow. Okay. Spicy lobster? Yeah, totally. Kind of wish that they were better eatings. Woo! Okay, it's fine. I was like, I wonder if they're not loaded. I was about to say, I wonder if they're not loaded anymore. Because, like, that first one didn't shoot anything, but... Second one sure did. Jesus. And Dumat, the stoneworker, has become possessed. Spicy hawk and lobster? It's a spicy spitty lobster. It spits and spices. And Somebody's claimed admin workshop, and he's hungry. This doesn't seem wise. Gotta get chili somewhere else, I suppose. Yeah, well, I mean, the only spicy food I have in my apartment is all the chili peppers I have, so gotta get them from somewhere. Just had a nice breakup date with this girl I've been seeing since April. Went really well. That is, like, not a sentence you read every day. What? A nice breakup date. I've never had a nice breakup in my life, so congratulations, I suppose. That or I mean, I've been getting errors from Steam all day. I'm kind of wondering now if, like, maybe Steam's just breaking. Maybe I should stream some Odd Realm next week. I don't know. I've been playing Songs of Six, so it's hard to go from, like, city builder to another city builder to another city builder. Although I'm kind of waiting for the next major patch for Odd Realm to get into the main branch instead of being in the beta branch. Because when Odd Realm has beta branches, they're beta branches, and the game is broken usually. So, like, he uses it for bug fixing. It's not generally something I want to stream. So I wait for the major patches to be released before I play. But, you know, one thing at a time. We will definitely stream more of that. So apparently, antivirus breaks the load times in, apparently antivirus breaks the saving and loading in Brigand, so that's interesting. Guess I need to disable malware bytes if I want to try that thing again. Maybe I'll try Odd Realm when you have some cash to spare. It goes on sale like 20% off relatively frequent. To be completely clear, Odd Realm has its own weird eccentricities in the same way Dwarf Fortress does. Ooh, hey, you're actually grabbing adamantine. Cool. But it does enough things completely differently from Dwarf Fortress in interesting ways that it's a neat game. Like, once you start realizing that, oh, you can summon bosses by building a specific type of room and putting it in the basement somewhere, or, like, talking to a certain NPC and giving him money, and stuff like that. It gets neat. Also, the music's great. I don't know. It's a cool little game that I genuinely worry about because I'm very worried that Dwarf Fortress is going to release and it's, like, never going to get sales ever again. Because, like, my sales pitch for Odd Realm usually is just, it's like Dwarf Fortress, but as a tutorial and is easier to get into and has clicky UI and mouse support. It's like, I don't know. But also it has 3 playable races and is going to have 5, has magic and, like, a weird-ass skill system that involves them writing books about things that they've learned as they're practicing it. And then you can spend those books on materials or sell them to other factions. Like, it's got neat ideas. Really is a neat little thing. Wombat leather, pigtail cloth, adamantine wafers, wood logs, unicorn leather, gizzard stone, more adamantine wafers, and phalite. Welcome back, Hobo. How's all the packing going? Packing done? Yeet. See you soon, Hobo. Travel safe. When actually are you traveling? Or when do you leave, rather, I suppose. Also, you timed your traveling well on a weekend when there's no F1. You don't even miss anything. You leave tomorrow morning? Well, travel safe. Oops. Next time we talk, you'll be in a time zone that's closer to me. Autumn has come. Would you look at that? You turn into joints along the way. I don't know if Hobo's gonna be turning Bibles into joints. I don't know if Hobo's said publicly what he's doing, so I'm not gonna out him, but although he is going somewhere where weed is legal, so. Tomorrow's the first day of autumn? Oh, yeah, you're right. Hey, chat, they said the Dwarf Fortress is still going to be coming out in this fall, most likely. So, release date tomorrow, Pog? Windows Defender tried to flag the demo when you ran it. Yep. Sounds about right. You know, I sometimes wonder why Windows Defender still exists. Like, I use Malwarebytes, but I literally just use it for cookie blocking. That's literally all I use it for. It's like, this website has X number of cookies. You want to click on it? Yes, no. It's literally the only reason I have it. It flagged a thing with 0 threats in it. That's beautiful. Also, you were able to get it off of Steam, yeah? I'm actually kind of curious what's in the demo right now, because I don't actually know what's in the demo for Odd Realm. I've never actually played the demo. Oh, you got it off itch. Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes lots of sense. I'm convinced it's just because Steam is busted. Is anything ever infected from Steam? I had Windows Defender block Cities Skylines when Cities Skylines added the Paradox launcher stuff to Cities Skylines. But outside of that, not for me anyway. That was the one instance of that happening for me. And then I, like, permanently deactivated Windows Defender. Well, you know, who knows? Maybe. I have, like, 500 hours in City Skylines. I just kind of got bored a couple of years ago. I used to play it a bit whenever an update would come out. Built quite a few cities back in the days. But I got exceptionally bored of it. Around the time they started adding the, like, Industries DLC. Like, all of the game just kind of stopped being there, really. Like, there's no city builder in there. It's just a city painter, and I only have so much patience for that kind of thing. It's a beautiful city designer. Not really a game I want to play very often. Someone should tell the developer of, what's it called? A Brigand that then. Because he was talking in my comments section today about that. Wonder if there's historically been crypto miners that have gone through Steam's virus detection. Yes, there actually was 2 or 3 notable instances of crypto miners, including a port of Cooking Mama. Yeah, it's happened. Nothing that I've ever played or purchased, fortunately. Phalite mug. Named Adril Matul. worth a lot of Dwarf bucks. It's called Sea Onslaught, the Weaver of Dances. This is a phallic Muggle craft store. Ship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with oval rectangular cabochons and decorated with almond wood and pigtail and wobbat leather. It is encircled with bands of cushioned phalite and adamantine. This object menaces with spikes of adamantine and unicorn leather. Because somebody bought the rights to the IP or something. That or it was like the developer that was paid to do the port that put the thing in there. I don't know. Long story short, it's no longer on Steam. Odd Realm. See, this is why people have a hard time finding Odd Realm. What was the name of the game you were talking about? I'm sorry, but I missed it. What were you talking about? What's the name of that game? I can't find it. What's the name of that? That's why that game has a hard time selling. It's because it's called Odd Realm. Also, another issue is that it doesn't update that frequently. It does. It's just all in the beta branch. Because he does basically expansion packs for it. I don't know. Soul Shinery, I just forgot. Anyway, like the issue is he doesn't do updates like normal games. He does expansion packs. So he will literally like add a new game's worth of content once a year instead of doing what like most devs do these days, which is just like, frequent small patches. But, so like devs used to? Yeah. Purely because he's stated that it's like better for his mental and physical health and shit like that. But yeah, I don't know. I've gotten like 80 hours between the itch version and the Steam version into that game now, so. Yeah, it's super nice and chillax to play. It's not a super high maintenance game, but it's neat. Game seized? You okay there, Dwarf? That gets fixed. That gets fixed. That gets fixed. Done. Just a few more boulders. And then we are done our floors. Then I think, chat, once we're finished with all this flooring and shit, I'm going to designate all of the stuff that's left in here to be thrown away. And then I think we're going to go play some Songs of Six. How does that sound to you guys? We've got that run going pretty good that we started up yesterday. I think that's the plan. Sounds hype? I don't know about that. It's very rare that I do things that are hype. High as fuck, like my sub count today? Because Navy decided to send us to space this morning. I mean, nice work. Don't congratulate me. Thank Navy. Like, I just did my normal shit. Last few walls going into place. Well, it's not bad. Seeing the dwarves just scampering up and down this maniacal prison. Kind of oddly, I don't know, amusing to me. Can also super duper just get rid of this. And also that. Last few bits are almost done. And there goes that. Almost done. You dreamt about it and it was stressful? Really? You played so much Songs of Six that you slept and you dreamed about it? Man, you must have loved that game. Cause like that's a pretty considerable thing. You haven't played it since? Did you build like one city? You know, every single time you unlock a different level of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Faction in Songs of Six, those unlocks make your next city better. You get, like, literally meta progression in that game. So if you hit 1,000 people, one mega city with gems out in the open. Oh, wow. So you were just open diamond mines then? That sounds fun. Well, this ended up taking way longer to build than I thought it would. But next time we stream this fort... Whoop. Oh, shit. A caravan has arrived. Next time we stream this fort, we are going to finish that and besiege hell. So, with all that being said, chat, we're going to save the game. No raids either. You can't figure out the military attack screen when the raiders come. Oh yeah, finding that piece of UI is a pain in the dick. I mean, I guess you could also just always pay them off. Recovering the amount of money they demand actually isn't that bad, aside from the part where they make you go into debt. So I will state, if you're here specifically for Dwarf Fortress and you couldn't possibly imagine a point in your life where you watch anything but Dwarf Fortress, I would just like to state that Russ Money is streaming Dwarfs. You know, he was generous enough to give us a raid yesterday and is a good friend of the channel. So he's playing Dwarf Forts. So if you want to go watch more Dwarfs and you don't want to watch me anymore, go watch Russ. He's cool. Aside from that, I will shut him out. But we're 9 hours and 38 minutes into the stream. We're going to be streaming probably another 3 hours, 4 hours, give or take. We're going to go play a couple hours of Songs of Six, and then after that, we're going to run some cheese, and then call it a night. So that's the plan for the evening. So, hope you guys stick around. And if you are sticking around, if I could get a round of beers, that'd be rad. I need a clever title. Do I have different shifts of viewers? Oh, like what? Different people tune in the morning and different people tune in the evening? Morning's a lot of your